the Soundscape Crusaders. Join Nate and Levi, two music-loving friends, as they explore the cosmic wonders of the soundscape. Their goal? Discovery, as they pair music with media. It's a race against time, as they face mysterious cosmic horrors that stand in their way. Will they complete their mission? Tune in to find out.
Welcome back to Soundscape Crusaders. Week 2, Volume 2. Nate, how are you doing?
Good. I'm good. Had an eventful weekend. I was in Choctaw. Went to Choctaw Casino Resort in Oklahoma, Durant, Oklahoma. Saw Dwight Yoakam live.
The man.
The man.
How was that show?
So the show, he was really good. I had never heard so many audio issues in the show ever. There were so many feedback issues, probably at least 25 times.
That's really surprising because I would assume that someone of Dwight Yoakam's status, that he would have his own road crew, right? Like his own
honestly, I'm not
audio
sure.
team.
And there was one point where he was switching guitars because he plays guitar as well on stage, as well as he's got like a touring band of 4 other guys. He switched guitars to another acoustic, and the pack that was attached to it just wasn't working because he started strumming, trying to get like a song rolling, and it heard nothing. Like it played nothing.
Oh man,
it was weird. I'd never heard so many audio issues in a concert ever.
I wonder if he was like pissed about that.
I don't know, but you could tell some of the bandmates were like side-eyeing each other, like are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, why is this happening? It wasn't the band's fault. Definitely was not the band's fault.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, Yoakum was good. He played Fast as You, which is fucking sick.
Which we covered.
Which we did cover in an episode from Volume 1, and he was good. So I had a pretty eventful weekend. What about you?
I've been in prep mode,
right?
Because I wanted to find something really, really good. Because it's my first pick of Volume 2, so it's got to be good. And I think I got something good.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, you want to get right into it? We can get right into it. Jump right in.
Your call, man.
So I searched far and wide for something a little atypical to what I usually bring, which is guitar, heavy rock, or synthy, or whatever. Especially, this year is more so my year of psychedelic rock kind of stuff. And you're going to hear some of that, but not today. Today, I wanted to bring a man to the table that I don't believe we've talked about, to my knowledge. And he's pretty much a legend, but it's a legend that I wasn't really aware of because this is in a genre of which, I could use a lot more education on. And it's something that I've been trying to explore a little more and find that kind of stuff that, I've missed out on. To cut to the chase, I'm going to be discussing a hip hop song with you.
Okay.
And I discovered that this year is pretty much the 50th anniversary of hip hop in general. Its inception is widely regarded to be in 1973 or so.
Okay.
And this man was born in the same year as hip hop. So it's kind of a fun little mix. This man started out with Questlove and Malik B. Started in the business with them in a band called Roots, and has pretty much been a legend ever since. His name is Black Thought.
Is this the record with Danger Mouse?
Hell yeah, it is, brother.
Okay, I've heard this. This has been recommended to me a lot, so I'm super excited. I haven't given it.
You haven't listened to
I
it
have
yet?
not. It's fuck. What is the name of it?
Cheat Codes.
Okay, yeah, this has been recommended
Cheat
to
Codes.
me by a couple people.
The song that we are listening to today is called Aquamarine featuring Michael Kiwanuka by Danger Mouse and Black Thought.
To Libra, from cold water to fever, to World War III, from the treaty signed in Geneva. The biology teacher said we used to be amoebas. The neighborhood preacher said we emerged from the ether. We converged from urethra and struck gold, Eureka. The morning star Tariq, I was born to be a teacher, whether scorpion or the frog.
That's good.
What you think?
That's good. That's good. But I mean, Black Thought is super talented. The Roots are super important when it comes to hip hop. I mean, they're the pioneers, at least for Philly, for the city of Philadelphia. They're very important. That song is dense. That song is very, very dense.
Yeah. I'm just going to be real. I have no idea what I'm going to pick today.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because it's
lyrically dense, which is very much in the style of Black Thought and like the way he composes himself in songs, whether it's his solo stuff or stuff with the Roots.
Even his freestyles are like the most scholarly, dense. Well, I have no idea how he does it. I watched a couple of his freestyles and I was like, he's making this shit up right now.
Yeah, he's really fucking talented. I mean, what year was it? 87 when him and Questlove founded the Roots? That couldn't be.
I think it was not. Square Roots was founded in 87 when they were in high school. I'm not sure when their first album came out, but by the time their first album even came out, they had changed the name to Roots.
Right.
I was reading an article about, kind of their inception and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he met Questlove in the principal's office, and he was in trouble, but Questlove was in for something else.
Yeah. And
he was just stricken by how talented Questlove was. And
he is also talented. I mean, the Roots are really...
Yeah.
They're just talented dudes. Yeah, I mean, and they're the backing band. They're the Tonight Show band right now.
Yeah.
Which is great. They're so fucking good.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. And they're still putting out I don't know if the Roots have put out anything recently, but obviously Black Thought's still at it. And Questlove, I think, just won an Oscar last year, I think.
An Oscar?
I think he did. It was a documentary called Summer of Soul. He won Best Documentary.
Oh, okay.
But most people don't remember that because Will Smith decided to slap Chris Rock.
Right. Yeah, ruined all that. Okay, zeroing back in on the song itself, what are your thoughts on the song itself? Whether it be tempo, melody, like what's the first thing that really stuck out to you?
Honestly, the chorus from Michael. How did you say his name again?
Kiwanuka.
Okay, I like his voice a lot. And Danger Mouse is, he's just a really interesting producer. He made this record called The Gray Album, which was a combination of Jay-Z's The Black Album with the instrumentals from the Beatles' White Album, and he combined them together to make a record.
Oh, I need to listen to that.
Dude, it's really it's really kind of interesting. And Danger Mouse did Gnarls Barkley, had the Gnarls Barkley project with CeeLo Green who's from Goody Mob. Then he did what was the thing with the guy from the Shins? Broken Bells, is that right? Does that sound right?
Broken Bells,
yeah. He did that project with the lead singer from the Shins, and I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Oh, he was involved in Broken Bells?
Yeah. And he also produced Demon Days, the sophomore record for the Gorillaz, and then Modern Guilt, which was a Beck record in I think 2009 or 2008.
I loved Modern Guilt.
He's got a really lush sound, and I love the sounds he puts. Like I like that high pitch like bing he was using. It was like the marker for everything that was going on for what Black Thought was really kind of rhyming with. I don't know. The song is really fucking dense, bro. I need to re-listen to it.
It's a lot, but yeah, this song. I didn't really go too much into Danger Mouse's whole thing just because I was pretty much doing a deep dive.
Do you remember the record Brothers and El Camino by Black Keys? Do you remember those two records?
Yeah.
He did that. He produced those.
So this song stood out to me the most out of all of Cheat Codes. I believe it's one of the higher listened to songs for good reason. But don't let me sell it short because the whole album is just hit after hit after hit. The other song that I almost chose is the track right before this, which is Belize featuring MF Doom, which is also amazing.
Wow, he got MF Doom because MF Doom passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So he got MF Doom. He has a song with A$AP Rocky and Run the Jewels, Conway the Machine, Joey Badass, Russ, and Dylan Cartilage, Raekwon. I like
Wu-Tang.
Raekwon.
Little Wu-Tang.
Yeah, which he's worked with. I think Wu-Tang a couple times. He's worked with Killer Mike a couple times. One of his previous solo album, I think it was his 2018 solo album. He had a couple songs with Portugal the Man that were really good.
Okay,
like I feel like Black Thought really knows how to, like, he's not just a lyricist. He's also like knows how to use people's strengths to just create a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And so this whole album
is just bop after bop.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've listened to the album in the past week all the way through probably 5 times. That's a lot for me. I don't do that too much.
Yeah.
But the reason like he stuck out to me so much is just because, one, like we've already covered, his lyricism is extremely dense and
it's insane,
detailed.
Yeah,
like just he knows, he walks in the room and he's like the smartest man in the room.
Yeah. He's like up there with like Andre 3000 and like the different types and like MF Doom. In regards to like different words he uses, he doesn't repeat a lot of like the same kind.
Yeah.
But Black Thought is like really good at like finding words that you normally wouldn't think of that to put together in whatever kind of rhyme scheme he's doing. He's just like really fucking smart.
Just in the first verse, he talks about amoebas, he says urethra, eureka. He talks about the Quran. Well, the first verse is pretty much like him talking about human history, and then the second verse is more like his life. But
I don't know how the heck he would describe this song, but if it sounds like he's going through history of man almost. It's wild. It's so dense. I don't even know how to I don't even know how to process it all,
Yeah. Like I said, this man walks in the room and he's the smartest man in the room. He knows his shit. And I read some interviews with him and he was inspired to write when he was 9 years old. Mm-hmm. His primary influence that inspired him to do that was R.C. LaRock, which I'm not super familiar with, but he was his song, R.C. LaRock's Maestro.
My reputation, see, I go by the name of R.C. LaRock. I rock your body around the clock. I like a tick-a-tick-a-tock, tick-a-tick-tick-tock, a tick-a-tick-a-tock around the clock. And I'm coming at you with the future shock. I got more rhymes than Wall Street. I got stock, y'all. Yes, I do, y'all. You see, now when I rock, I make your ears explode. Now I'm going to take your mind. In the next episode, now I was
what inspired him to start writing his own music when he was 9 years old. And as he developed his writing technique, he was mostly influenced by all kinds of things, such as literature, English, history, social studies, which you can see in this song, with the overall idea being centered on humanity and humans and the human experience.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and as you listen to his music and his lyrics, you can really see that. You're learning lessons, you know, like he's teaching me shit while I'm listening to it. And I just really like, I respect this man. He doesn't need my respect, but I respect him. So that's kind of my thoughts on him as an artist. I think artist is the best way to describe him too, because his approach to albums and music in general, and each song even, is the same approach that a painter would take to their canvas.
No, he's
there's
like
a very there's a very deliberate approach that he takes, and I love it. I'm obsessed. I love his music. I hate that I waited so long, or I hate that it took me this long to find his music, but I'm glad.
I obviously I have not listened to this record. It has definitely been recommended to me by not just you. A couple other close friends have brought this to my attention. I love the way you describe it as the human experience, or just a human experience, because you're kind of living history in a sense through his eyes, or just being human through his eyes.
Yeah.
Which, on that note, I kind of think I have my movie.
Do
I
you?
think, or I have my choice. I guess I just gave away it's a movie. I think I have a pathway I'm going down now.
Okay.
So.
I'm excited to hear that. I'll just say real quick, one of my favorite lines is, because in 215, where folks fight depression and wives pack protection, lives lack direction, I'm a king dipped in God's black complexion. Like,
I think verse 2 is really fucking good. I could just pull the whole thing, but I like the lines I like is, Twilight is a message for me to write a confession. The Matrix, a dominatrix seeking to be served, ever patiently waiting with the demons we deserve. Better be willing to pay with every dream that you deferred. If the vehicle should swerve, learn to lean into the curve.
that was my next pick
He's
too.
so fucking good, dude. And
just
the way it flows, the way he like puts these flows out, it's smooth, like no hiccups, and it's crafted perfectly. It's like going back to, it's like MF Doom. It's like in that same vein. They're crafted to perfection, and it's so good. Love it. This song is good. I've already added it to the playlist, and I'm gonna listen to the record tomorrow on my way to work. So,
dude, the whole record is consistently like this.
Yeah,
it has the same density throughout, but also Danger. Like, you got to give credit to Danger Mouse too, because the album as a whole is very consistent with its sound, without ever feeling like you're like, it's like, oh, okay, I'm you know how some song or some albums, like when you get close to the end, you're like, okay, like it's starting to kind of blend together. Like things flow, but they don't blend together.
So you're saying Danger Mouse does a pretty good job at like varying the production, that every song feels very different. And fresh.
He doesn't jump the shark. He stays consistent without being.
He's fucking great.
Okay, well, let's get into your pick, man.
Lyrically, trying to line something up with this, it'd be really fucking tough. But I love the way you describe it as kind of the human experience, especially through the eyes of Black Thought. And this, I'm picking a movie. This movie is the human experience from the eyes of three people, three men, three poor men. No, I wouldn't say poor. I would say Well, it's three men from a poor immigrant neighborhood in Paris, France.
Oh.
This movie came out in 1995. Directed by Mathieu Kassovitz. The movie I'm choosing is La Haine, which is a French film.
Yeah, I don't think I'm... La Haine.
La Haine. It's spelled Haine. It's a French word for hate.
Je sais que tu aimes un peu.
Oh, Vince.
Tomber dans le puits le matin. Tomber dans le puits, c'est bien. Je sais que tu as peur de grandir. Les vieux savent mieux mentir. Tu sais qu'on pourrait être
Venez voir. Vous pouvez pas rester ici. Descends. Ah, vite, venez. Faut descendre.
Vous voulez pas qu'on passe voir Abdel à l'hôpital?
Moi je pars.
J'ai un truc à vous dire.
Le temps perdu. Oui, ne mangez pas. Oui, je pars. Moi je pars. Je veux retrouver le temps perdu. Tous les feux, moi. Tous les feux me font. Tous les feux me font tomber dans les flammes.
That looks fucking good, though.
It's phenomenal. Absolute. It's probably one of the best movies I've ever seen. Ever.
Sell it to me. Sell it to me.
All right, so La Haine takes place in Paris, France, and you follow three friends named, I want to say Vinz, who's played by Vincent Cassel.
Yeah.
It's spelled like Hubert, but I think it's Hubert, who's played by Hubert Conde, I think is his name. And then Saeed, played by Saeed Tagmawi, I think is his name. And it's three friends that grow up in this really poor urban area in Paris, France. And tensions between these poor, unfortunately, they're segregated neighborhoods. There's conflicts between the Parisian police and these suburbs, and there's a lot of tension between these three friends and the groups they run around with and the police. And it's kind of like a day in the life not slice of life, but kind of day in the life of how these three friends.
Does it take place all in one day?
Three men. I think it might be a day. They go into Paris. At one point in the movie, they go into Paris, like in the rich part of Paris. Like they stick out like a sore thumb, kind of. Like
because in the trailer they look like, one of the guys has like a buzz cut,
right?
And especially I feel like in the '90s, that's like more synonymous with like being a little more rough.
If I remember correctly, the friend of theirs was injured by police in a riot because there's such a class war in Paris. Any country you look at, there's going to be class war or class disparity, and there's a huge disparity between the rich and the poor in regards to Paris. And their friend is in a hospital in Paris, and I want to say they go visit him, or they're trying to go visit him. I think Abdel is his name, and it's the human experience through the eyes. So the eyes you normally wouldn't see, or you wouldn't. Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase that. It's the human experience told through people that normally wouldn't be the protagonists of a movie. A Hollywood bigwig wouldn't make this movie. Universal isn't going to probably go for something like this. Columbia isn't going to make something like this. They're not your typical hero, in a sense. But it's a very important movie. and it's very well made, and it's just very good.
So it came out in 95.
95. Wikipedia calls it a crime drama film. Like, I mean, there is like crime going on, in a sense, I guess.
Oh, that was Vincent
Cassel.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he looked familiar.
He plays
Wow.
Vince. He's
Yeah.
really young in this movie. I want to say he's
Yeah.
28, 27 in the movie.
Popularly, probably most known as the dancer in Ocean's 12. But he's in a ton of stuff. But I feel like that's like one of the bigger movies.
Yeah.
He's also in Black Swan. And then I feel like he's everywhere in TV. He was in Westworld.
Yeah.
That's what I remember him most recently from, anyway. Fantastic actor and a very unique looking guy.
He's like that in this movie too. It's really good.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, highly recommend. Like I said, like lyrically, it does not follow or does not fit with Aquamarine, but I think that would be an impossible task to find something that fits lyrically. But I think the way the music video was shot in black and white and all those like those circles, it was those circled images of things that were in a circular shape, that kind of like fast, like semiotic showing kind of thing, I think fits the tone of this movie because things move fast and it's also shot in black and white.
Yeah. So what's like the scene that came to your mind first when when you're listening to this song? Like, what's the first thing that came to mind where you're like, okay, this fits?
It's in the trailer, but it's probably the scene where they're playing with that, I want to say, is it a 357 Magnum? They're messing around with that gun.
Yeah.
That 44 Magnum, which that Magnum is important in the movie. And it's them kind of like, whoa, like, this is what the police, our enemy, uses. And it's kind of like the weapon of choice of our enemy is in our hands kind of thing. Like, is this our chance? Because also, I mean, you took world history in high school and elementary school and stuff. France is very well known for its revolution, and they murdered the rich.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure the term "eat the rich" kind of probably came from that the French Revolution. I mean, they physically, I don't think they ate these people, but they did get rid of them swiftly.
I'm really fascinated by the trailer, especially it seems like the revolver is a motif throughout.
Yes,
at least based on.
Well, yeah, because if a good way would be to explain is that revolver, not specifically that gun that they're holding, but that symbol has hurt people that they care about and has affected people they care about, like their friend Abdel.
Yeah.
It's very much it's a symbol of hate. They've really like pushed this motif that the police is kind of like the hate. Because they're very much the antagonists through this movie. And it's short. I want to say it's a little over 90 minutes. It's not that long. You'll breeze by it.
For those that care, it has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8.1 on IMDb, and 4.4 on Letterboxd. So pretty beloved. It's not available to stream.
Is it not?
No, you can rent it from Apple, Amazon, but I don't see it anywhere.
What if Criterion put out a version? They probably did.
It might be. Yeah, I mean, that trailer we just watched was a Criterion.
Oh, that's
trailer.
Right. It's their fucking C.
You can find it if you want to seek it out. It's easy to find,
honestly, between you and me, Levi, it's worth the rent. It's worth it.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, $4, not bad.
Worth it.
Or on the next
that's
Criterion
a steal.
sale.
Seeing that thing at $4 is a steal.
Well, let's move on to my pick. My pick is a movie we've both seen. That is
it To Live?
It's Zhang Yimou's To Live.
Love that movie.
3 decades in the life of a family. They must face the pain of loss. They'll find hope in the promise of their children. And they will struggle with the chaos of revolution. In their journey of survival through a changing world, they must find a chance to love and a reason to live. An epic film from Zhang Yimou, Academy Award-nominated director of Raise the Red Lantern and Zhu Dao.
Initially, I was going to choose 2001: A Space Odyssey because it, in the same way that Aquamarine kind of explores humanity's inception and all of the trials and tribulations that have happened since on a broad scale.
Yeah, monkeys and screaming and shit.
Yeah, but I feel like whatever movie I had to pick for this song, it had to be an epic story. Epic in the sense of not, oh, that's epic, bro, but epic in scale, epic in scope.
Yeah.
Long span of time to where you see people evolve.
Yeah.
And
what a movie!
You know, this might be the only time we're able to talk about To Live because it covers those things in the same way that Aquamarine kind of has themes of resilience and perseverance in the face of adversity, perhaps, in the face of bad shit at times, and standing up and pushing through, I guess. Zhang Yimou's To Live does the same thing against the backdrop of China's Cultural Revolution.
Yeah.
So this movie, for those who haven't seen it, and I don't think a lot of people have because it's hard to find.
China,
it is very hard to find.
Shut that shit down when it got like released.
Yeah.
Because ultimately it's speaking bad. It's speaking very poorly on the Cultural Revolution. I mean,
it does not look nicely. Yeah, it does not look nicely on the events that take place.
On the government. Yeah.
This movie is hard to find. And you can find it on like eBay, like if there's DVDs. It's out of print though, for the most part. So it's kind of hard. So if you're, sailing the seas, if you get my drift, you'll be able to find it. And that's probably the best way to find it.
If Criterion got a hold of this movie, I'd buy it in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I would love a Blu-ray. Oh, holy shit.
What?
You know what? I just typed in To Live, Zhang Yimou on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Full movie.
Like, for free?
Yeah, 2 hours and 11 minutes. So
there you go. No excuses now, everybody.
There you go. Find it on YouTube. It's free for now. I don't know how long it's going to be up, but it's there.
Holy shit. Bro, there are some scenes in this movie that just... I cried like a baby when we watched this movie in class, dude. You know what's so jarring about this movie? I can't remember the main character's name, but it's how, if I remember correctly, he's like a rich dude, right? Before the Cultural Revolution really kind of hits full force. He's a rich guy. And how fast he loses everything because the Chinese Civil War starts going on. It's so jarring.
Yeah. So in short, this movie, which was directed by Zhang Yimou, he did Raise the Red Lantern, House of the Flying Daggers.
Oh, dang. Okay.
This is a story set in Cultural Revolution, 1940s China, It spans 3 decades, and you follow a man and woman kind of going through and how, like you said, how fast their life changes as these things that are completely out of their control happen. And I believe he's like a gambler at the beginning, and he loses everything, and then the war starts. He becomes like a shadow puppet guy going and entertaining the troops.
I want to say so when the Civil War happens, he's drafted into the Republic of China's armed forces, which I think was the old guard. And I think he gets captured at one point by the Liberation Army, the People's Liberation Army, which is like the current Chinese government, I think, if my history.
Yeah, and he's separated from his wife and children. Yeah. And then things happen. They lose a lot of loved ones, and it spans 3 decades, and it moves quickly. It keeps you captivated throughout the whole time. I did not look away from the screen.
What I love so much about this title, the title of this movie, is it captures what humans do. We live, and this is what a life to live. What this character goes through. Like, him and his family go through so much that unless you're a soulless person, you're gonna cry. Yeah, you're gonna cry like a baby.
And I'll put a little asterisk there though, because when we talk about this movie, without a doubt, most of the time we're like, oh yeah, like I cried like a baby, right? However, it's not complete depravity and hopelessness. You end on a note of hope and looking forward to the future.
There's optimism. There's a lot of optimism.
Like life. Yeah. You have the good and the bad.
There's ebbs and flows throughout this movie. And when I say like you cry like a baby, there's moments where it's like happy cry.
Right.
Because it's life. It's almost nigh impossible, unless you're like a trust fund baby, to like have this permanent highs. You're gonna have some lows. You're gonna experience some lows. And I think this movie really captures that in a country that's going through immense turmoil around this time.
I feel like I left that movie a changed person. I really believe that. It's just amazing. It's also based on a book, so if you're a reader, maybe you want to read the book. I don't know if the book's good or not, but if it's anything like the movie, it's amazing. According to Wikipedia, it says it didn't directly express the same themes of the novel, and so there were some changes.
The one thing I will say that's such a shame in regards to this movie is how China censored it and kind of really kept it from getting the recognition and getting out to the audience that it deserves, because it's a very well-made movie. China's they're very infamous for censoring their history if it makes the government look bad.
Sure.
And apparently, this is also on Wikipedia, the sponsors for this film entered the Cannes Film Festival without the government's permission, which ruffled their feathers. Because I can imagine if they asked the government, like, hey, we want to put this movie out there, it also doesn't put y'all in a really good light, they'd obviously say no.
It was denied a mainstream release in China, mainland China at least, since it was so critical.
Right. Honestly, these I'm just going to go off on a limb here, but these two films that we picked are some of the best, if not the two best foreign films I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in my
film
life.
In general. Probably.
Oh yeah,
that's what I would say. Not even just categorizing it as a foreign film.
If I had to ever make a top list or like top 50 or whatever, I think To Live in La Haine would probably be top 10.
To Live's definitely in my top 10.
To Live is. I've never been so moved by a picture. Yeah. Does that make sense? Like I've never like come out of a movie just like. But that happened with La Haine as well. Like I came out of that movie, I don't think I said anything. Like when I watched it in class, I think I just put headphones in and walked to my apartment because it's just like so shocking.
Yeah, you have to think about it for a while and just really absorb what the movie gave you. Just please, if it's still on YouTube when you're listening to this, watch it, find it somewhere else.
It's worth the 2 hours and 15 minutes you need to set aside. It's worth it. 100%.
And it's yes, that's a long run time. However, it spans 3 decades.
Yeah. I remember going into that movie because we had that same class together. I can't remember the name of the class, but it was a Ben Schoff class. And we were like, oh, this is going to be so long, because he gives you the run times of these movies.
Yeah.
And we were both like, ugh, a sobbing mess. It's a great movie.
And then we left different people.
Yep, there you go. Changed men.
Yeah, completely. That is my pick for this week. To Live.
Good pick.
We got To Live and
La N. It's like
La
En,
N?
La N, which means
Okay.
hate in French.
I guess that's the end of our episode. If you want to follow us on social media, we've been posting a little bit more, trying to get more content out, little snippets of pieces of episodes and little funny things. So you can follow us on Twitter at Sound Crusaders, or Instagram,
And
TikTok, and YouTube, Soundscape Crusaders.
Give us a like, give us a review, give us a 5 stars. All that jazz. We'll see you next time.